we are live from Ibiza for another edition of Café Diem with your host, Michelle Reed, and my special guest, Lisa Strong. In this video, we're going to discuss what's brewing, so coffee or lack thereof, depending on the guest. We're going to discuss Lisa's spilling the beans, so she's going to take us back to her first time in Ibiza. And then we're going to get really deep into mindset, which is Lisa's speciality. So stick around, press subscribe, and away we go. So my special guest, Lisa Strong, all the way from Caliunga.
Good morning.
My living room to your living room. We say, hola, buenos dias. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm really good. It feels so nice to have some routine back into my life. I've realised I thrive off structure and routine, which isn't something I thought I would ever have said. But yeah,
especially I think coming from London. So how long did it take for you to get that feeling back, Lisa?
I didn't come from London actually. It was Liverpool. So I'm from up north.
Okay.
So I was based, did used to live in the city of Liverpool, but then before I came to Ibiza was on the Wirral, which is between Chester and Liverpool.
Okay.
And I was in finance, so I had a very structured and kind of routine life, but came to Ibiza with an 8-week-old baby and was like, I don't want structure, I don't want routine. But yeah, now I realise that I definitely thrive on it.
Cool.
Sure.
And I think September is a fantastic time to get back into that structure because July and August for us are quite whirlwindy. Not as much as normal for you though, because normally you are like go, go, go in July and August.
Yeah, but it was surprising actually, because I thought this year, because there wasn't going to be as many tourists, I normally work on retreats, so there wasn't any, there was a few, but not many retreats. And so I thought summer would be really relaxed and chilled, but there's just something on this island that happens in August and the intensity just switches up to like 100. I've got goosebumps everywhere as I say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, September, it was like I could take a breath again.
Yeah. No, I noticed that. And what I actually, probably the first time in the last 3 years since we've been here, is I pinpointed it to childhood, like the conditioning that when you go back to school in September, all of a sudden you have to kind of like, back to the structure and routine, which I'd never even thought about before. So it's quite fascinating. Cool.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know who Lisa Strong is, she has a business called Strong for Life. Appropriate, marrying a man with strong in his last name.
I'm married him.
Which is a well-being company that provides a 360-degree views on mindset, nutrition, sleep, relationships, breath, and of course, purpose. So very much how I look at my business as well, Lisa. So we have a lot in common when it comes to the business. Yeah. And you offer one-to-one life transitioning coaching, small group coaching, and of course, can be the queen of retreats when the retreats are on the island. So welcome to the cafe. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I can see you're holding something in your hand.
I'm holding something.
What's brewing?
I am holding a coffee from my favourite coffee shop. But I did say to Michelle, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with coffee, as I do with social media.
Okay.
So I love coffee. I love the smell of it. I love the taste of it. Not all coffee.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't love me in certain situations. So I used to suffer with insomnia, used to suffer with anxiety. And once I started doing my nutrition training back in 2012, I kind of understood the effects that caffeine has on the body for certain individuals, especially if they're at burnout, which I was, that it was exasperating these feelings. However, I've done a lot of work on myself, and I won't have coffee every day, and I don't have coffee in the house. However, my favourite coffee on the island is Canadian in Jesus.
Oh, wow. Incredible. Who are not Canadian at all. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you're Canadian, aren't you?
Yeah. I think they're Italian, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but they use, which surprised me because I only found this out this morning. So I have to be careful with what coffee I have because I'm super sensitive to stimulants.
Right.
So certain coffee I drink can get my heart racing. I can feel wired, literally feel like I'm on the ceiling. Hence one of the symptoms that I get. But I know when I go to Canadian, especially with the one girl who makes it for me perfect, she knows what I want before I go in. it's not strong. Okay. So I can't have strong, like Costa coffee just sends me like away with the fairies.
Yeah, it's that sort of the difference between, it's a Robusta, which is the like kind of like what we joke about is like the pingy coffee, the one that doesn't really leave you feeling particularly good after you've had it, versus having like a single origin coffee. So I'd be really interested to know what coffee they use.
They use Café Ibiza.
Do they? Interesting.
Which I really find strong. I said this to the woman, I was like, I can't believe you use Café Ibiza, because certain places I go to, that sends me like, so I don't know what she does. She obviously has the main ingredient, which is love.
Yeah, definitely.
All I can say.
But she also has her machine set properly.
Yeah.
So that makes it like nice and like a nice, easy coffee to drink. Because you can definitely tell when you've had a normal Café Ibiza for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Cool. And did you pick yourself up a cake while you were at Canadian?
No, I didn't.
No cakes today.
But I am in my positive mind, positive vibes, positive life cup.
Cool. I like it. I like it a lot, which is, it suits you to a T.
Yeah.
So Canadian is your preferred coffee house of, what about in Liverpool? What's the coffee culture like in Liverpool, Lisa?
So I worked in finance. So obviously in finance, coffee culture is huge.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going out to like 4 or 5 appointments a day. So I would be offered coffee in each appointment. So there was a time when I would have 4 or 5 coffees a day. I mean, the thought of that now, I will never have more than 1 coffee.
Mm-hmm.
The thought of that now almost gives me anxiety. I'm almost like, I can feel my heart. So a lot of my coffee when I was there, it wasn't out in coffee shops. It tended to be in offices.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I'm a little bit disgruntled to say this, but my favourite coffee when I do go back is Starbucks.
Okay, cool. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
You know what you're going to get.
It is.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. Okay, well, I like it. So you're the 3rd guest in a row. We had Jo Yule, who is a coffee queen. She loves her coffee.
I listened to those,
We had Hayley Field last week, who, again, very much like you, has an enzyme that doesn't allow her to metabolize caffeine very well, but she had a coffee for us as well. And then another one who was like, you know what? In the honor of Café Diem, I'm going to have a coffee. So I appreciate it. And cheers to you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being a guest, Lisa. I appreciate it. On our last Wednesday, Wellbeing Wednesday of the whole month of September, which is fantastic, which is also very scary to think. But October for Ibiza is okay. We're okay. We've got another fantastic couple months coming up for autumn. Cool.
And the 30th of September is a really big day for me, because it was the day, 30th of September 2012 was the day I left financial services after 19 years.
Wow.
And it's also my wedding anniversary. So this Wednesday, today, is the 10th wedding anniversary.
That's so exciting. And what are you doing?
We are going to Pancaray, the spa.
Amazing. I love it. That's fantastic. That's really cool. To celebrate the Strongs.
To celebrate Strongs, yes.
Cool.
16 years together. 16 or 17 years. 17, I think.
Fantastic. That is definitely worth celebrating. So congratulations. Cool. Awesome, Lisa. So from what's brewing to spilling the beans. Yeah. And so what does that mean? Firstly, I'd like to know, I mean, you've given a bit of a tidbit, but your origin story. So how did you end up from finance to where you are now, living in Ibiza, promoting your beautiful mindset, your positive mental vibe, all of this? Tell us.
Yeah. Oh, it's been quite a journey. So when I was growing up, I'll go quite far back, but I'll keep it brief. I'll cut it right down. So as a teenager, I wasn't particularly happy. Actually, on reflection, I'd say I was actually depressed.
Okay.
And I had an eating disorder. So anorexia, not bulimia. And I went down to just over 6 stone, and I got alopecia. So I lost some of my hair underneath at the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my mum was ill growing up. So it's also my mum's 7th anniversary of passing, approaching very, very soon. And my mum is my driving force for what I do today. She is my wow. Mm-hmm. And she was ill when we were growing up, like from teenage years, really. But I remember being ill once, lying on the sofa. And I don't know about in Canada, but certainly in England, the thing that mums would turn to when someone was ill was Lucozade.
Okay, interesting.
So I was there lying on the sofa with a bottle of Lucozade. And I remember, even though I was ill, I remember sitting up and saying to my mum, when I'm older, I want to help people to be well.
Wow.
That was kind of, and that sentence only came to me. So I went off and got into finance organically. It wasn't a plan. I went to college and didn't go to university, but I decided I wanted to earn money. And I saw this advert in the paper for Barclays Bank, went for the job, got it. Okay. So I worked through various banks and I was a business development manager in the end. That's kind of what I did. So I've been based at home working since I was 19.
Wow.
So this whole home working thing is very common, you know, it's usual to me.
Wow.
And, but then I realized, so I was in finance and I was successful, you know, I was in sales. So I always kind of, you know, was like top of the league tables and all that. I'm not saying that as a, you know, to kind of blow my own trumpet. But basically why I'm saying that is I was good at the job, which I think is what kept me there longer. I earned really good money. I had a decent car. I had lots of holidays, a nice house, you know, all of those things externally.
And like a tick box almost.
Yes, this traditional, you know, that how life should be, how society wants us to be, everything was ticked. But something wasn't feeding my soul, okay? And the absolute pinnacle for me of that was the credit crunch of 2007.
I remember that well.
2007, I became an agony aunt. So instead of going out and networking and hosting people at events, which is what I did a lot of, and enjoyed it, and you know, there was a lot of partying involved and drinking, but I became an agony aunt, and the industry became very dark and lots of people who I classed as friends were losing their businesses, and this made me have a whole kind of review of what was important to me and what I wanted to do with my life. And I did this little spiritual analysis on myself. So for anyone who works in corporate, they'll know what a SWOT is: strengths, opportunities and threats. But I kind of made my own up, and I use it with clients now, and it's kind of looking at, okay, what do I like doing? What am I good at? What don't I like doing? And what's really important to me in life, which is basically our values. Nutrition jumped out at me like a light bulb. And I was like, this was when I had the memory of what I'd said to my mum when I was 13. I was like, how have I lost this many years, like not focusing on that? And that was where the journey into wellness began.
Cool. Very cool. And so, but you have quite a lot of accreditation behind you, because also NLP or CBT for you?
NLP.
Yes.
So NLP. So what happened after that? So I've always been, I say this to clients as well, especially when I'm on my groups, I'm part practical, part hippie. So
I love Ibiza.
The hippie side hasn't just come since I've lived in Ibiza. So I've lived here for 6 years. First time I came was 2001, and I think we might get into that.
We are definitely getting into that.
But I've always had that hippie element to me. So I've always had readings, okay? And I used to go and see this incredible woman called Shirley in Wallasey, and I used to pay her £10, and I would see her every 6 months. And I remember going to see her in 2010, back end of 2010, and she said, you're going to be a Reiki master. You have got healing hands. You need to go and do Reiki. Wow. I'd never heard of it. Didn't know what it was.
Right.
So off I went and booked myself on a Reiki training. I'd never had a Reiki treatment. So that was a lot of my that was kind of where the deep healing journey began with Reiki in 2011.
Cool. Very cool. Again, not something I'm very familiar with. There seems to be a lot of that on the island, I believe.
Where did you do a lot on the island?
Where did you do your training, Lise?
I did it in Chester with a traditional Japanese master called Nobu, who, I mean, I was lucky and fortunate enough to have one-to-one training with him, and it was the most. Do you know what? It was life-changing for me. It was life-changing because it uprooted. I had numbed so many of my emotions. I was kind of brought up in the sense of you don't cry, crying's a weakness, don't show any emotion, you know, that just get on with it, stiff upper lip, northern kind of. And it really taught me to appreciate your emotions and honor your emotions.
Yeah.
And then I went on to do Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within, which just kind of, that was where the name Strong
level shit. Next
was
level
born,
shit.
actually.
Cool. Awesome.
Walked on the hot coals and did all of that.
Wow. Incredible. So quite the journey. I'm sure we could speak half an hour about just your journey.
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
A few more bits I want to get into for sure.
Training. Sort of every year I'll do a new training.
Cool. I like it. And I'm going to ask you about a book, but not quite yet. So have that in the back of your mind. I definitely know there's a book up there, Brewing, that you definitely want to share with everybody as well.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Now, can you remember your first time to Ibiza? What did you say? It was 2001?
2001. I can remember it vividly. I even know the date. So it was it was the week of, it was September 2001. And it was when the Twin Towers happened.
Oh God.
And this is so bizarre. So there's been so many synchronicities in my life.
Yep.
And me and Phil were on the island on the same week, but we didn't know each other. We weren't together then.
Wow.
So there's been lots of little things where me and Phil, could have met, but didn't. I was with someone else then, but I wasn't here with him. I was here with a bunch of girls, 6 girls who I'd gone to school with. We went to Pasha, we went to Manumission, we went to Eden, we went to Amnesia. Like, it was literally the craziest week. Like, I didn't sleep for a week.
Yeah.
But I got home and I was like, I'm going to live in Ibiza one day.
I love it.
I just had it inside of me. I am going to live in Ibiza one day. And I've come every year since.
Yes. Fantastic. And do you remember what your favorite club was when you were first coming to Ibiza? One that every time you came back, you're like, I must go there.
That year, it was Manumission.
Okay.
However, following that, it was El Divino, which is no longer here.
Yeah.
It was only a tiny little club, but it was Money Pennies on a Friday and it was Head Candy on a Saturday, and that was my music back then. So
cool. Probably still your music now, no?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, switching the question. If you could go to any club now, from what we have on the island, they're obviously not open, what would it be?
I was going to say there's nothing. Woo Moon.
Woo Moon. Oh yeah, of course. Good old Woo Moon.
Definitely. That's because I don't really go out anymore, to be honest. I'm a very, very different person to the person who came to Ibiza in 2001.
Oh,
hugely.
No doubt. But if you got the one chance to open the club for you and all of your friends, and there's no restrictions and there's no pandemic, let's go to Woo Moon. That sounds great. I miss Woo Moon.
Yeah, that's the only, because I'm all about the outdoors. So being enclosed in a really busy club and nothing to do with what's going on, just in general, that just doesn't serve me anymore. Yeah. But being outside in nature with trees and a performance,
it's a pretty special event. And I happen to have a friend visiting here and I took her to Woo Moon and she loved it. So I think, she would agree. So we'll join you. We'll go to Woo Moon as well.
Yeah, let's all visualize that for 2021. Please.
Yeah, I'm sure we could round up enough people to make Woo Moon happen and have our own little space. Oh man, yeah, let's go Ibiza 2021 for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now you did touch upon it. You said that you were a totally different person from when you first started coming to Ibiza to as you are now. You have a beautiful son, obviously married to your soulmate, that sort of thing. But what do you think, what kind of changes, where have you, without getting, again, we could have forever, but we don't. So we're going to start to talk about your speciality, which I know is very much this positive vibe, this mindset thing. So mindset then versus mindset now.
Yeah.
How are you? Where are you? What's going on in your life?
What was the transition, you mean? What did I do?
Or just what's going on in your life now, and where did it come from, this whole, you look at yourself back then and you look at yourself now. Like I said, there's obviously some environmental changes that have happened, but as your mind, what was the kind of catalyst to get into this sort of side of the wellness, and where are you right now?
I think the catalyst was the book, The Secret, in 2007.
Okay.
And when
the date of that as well.
I know the date. I'm very good with dates.
Yes.
And the number 7, which I will come on to, because I'm going to give us, when we talk about mindset, I'm going to talk about my top 7 mind hacks, because number 7 is a very, very powerful number, and it means completeness and that you're on your path and everything like that. I'm very into numerology.
Cool.
And I read that in 2007, but it's all about the law of attraction. And when I read it, I thought, wow, I've always lived my life like that. So I'm not weird. Like, I've been doing something right, because I used to think I was, different. And then I used to drink a lot. And what I realize now, I didn't realize it consciously at the time. So I'd drink a lot, I'd go out a lot, I'd do other stuff a lot. And my life was very, very busy. So I was working under high stress, high targets. I would drink most nights. I would go out at the weekends, stay up all night, etc. But what I realized there is that I was numbing these emotions. So when I started to get involved, well, basically in 2010 we got married, and we then started thinking about having a baby. Now, we started trying for a baby, and that it didn't happen. And it took us 3.5 years. Now, we had all the tests done, and we went to see a doctor who basically said, you've got to have IVF. And I came out crying, and I was like, I don't want it. Not because I don't agree with it for society, but for me it wasn't right. And that was the real core why for kind of stopping all this sort of drinking and partying and that kind of thing. I'd already started to think it, but that was a real why. That was a real right, I really want to have a baby. And then I started getting into yoga and started working a bit on retreats, even though I was still in finance, and got involved with a shamanic retreat, did a womb healing, and then it just opened like Pandora's box for this whole well-being. This was before I moved to Ibiza. So there was lots of things that started becoming available to me that I just saw a different side to life.
Okay, cool. Interesting. Very interesting. And I imagine a lot of women your clients even relate to that. It's kind of like this whole thing that we have in the UK, even whether you're in Liverpool or Manchester or London or even in Toronto and Ontario, that sort of thing. This rushing women's syndrome. We're always in a rush.
Absolutely. It's not even women. I mean, I like to say the term human doings. We have become human doings. And actually, our title is a human being. And it's like we have to have this to-do list. And it's almost like we pride ourselves on being busy, and how, it's almost like busy has become this status. And look, I've got goose pimples everywhere. That's my angels telling me yes. And we, we're a human being, and it's just so important that we come back to that space of being. And I've really, and again, it doesn't always come natural to me. I can get back into that doing phase, and I have to bring myself back into centered, back into balance. And yes, so many people, not just women, but people just feel that they have to be doing and doing and doing.
Yeah, true. I guess for me, because I work mainly with women, but I totally, and I know you, what would you say your split is for your business?
I love working with men.
Yeah, I know you do.
I work more of my clients are female than men.
Yes.
However, I feel that there's a lot out there for women. And not as much for men. And I feel that this gap between men and women in some areas is widening, and it's important that we, especially because there's so many single people around, and it's almost like if we go more that way and they go more that way, then so I'm very, very passionate about working with men and them finding their purpose and them being open about talking about emotions and realizing it's a strength and not a weakness.
Yeah, that's so refreshing, and I think it's totally true. And it's not something, again, because I work with mostly women, but that's my choice. But that is like, I totally agree, Lisa, and I think that's very much your USP and one of your specialities as well. So, and just I will say, I've had goose pimples quite a few times since talking to you today, which is quite nice. It's not cold in here.
No, it's our angels.
Yeah, no. It's fantastic. And I love that you can actually still get that, even though we're like, I'm in Central Valley and you're in Calianga. We're facing each other virtually, which is it's a good thing because there's a lot of that happening right now. So awesome. So very clear. Now, Lisa, I want to talk about mindset, which is a big thing for me as well. So having a mindset, what I would class as a mindset expert from the island on Café Diem. And it sounds like you're going to give us 7 top tips.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with your, maybe, I don't know if they're in order, if they're in no particular order, but definitely dive deep into what you seeing being a great way to upgrade your mindset, especially in today's current climate.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've tried to do, is really think, because obviously things change. So what I might have said, a lot of the things do stay the same. And, our mindset work it's like going to the gym, isn't it? Or doing workouts with you guys. Someone isn't going to come to you for 2 or 3 sessions and expect abs, or expect to, I've lost weight, or whatever it might be. And, mindset, it requires this constant attention and this constant work. And it's not like we read a book and we're done, or we do a coaching program and we're done. We're like an onion. We're constantly peeling back the layers. So I'm going to talk about 7 mind hacks.
Okay, cool.
Things that the people listening, like, if you're not doing, everyone listening is probably doing some of them. They might be, or they might have done them in the past. If you're not, what I would recommend is that you think about, okay, which one or 2 of these things do I really resonate with? And I'm going to do this for the next 21 days. Right? Because with anything, when we are changing our mindset, we're changing our physical being, we're changing our relationship, whatever it might be, it needs consistency and it needs action.
Definitely.
So my number 1 mindset hack is focus. Okay. This is something that I talk about a lot. So many people focus on what they don't want, and they focus on what they fear. So I even had a client last week, and I asked him, so what is it you really want in XYZ? And he said, well, I don't want to feel blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, so you don't want to feel that. What do you want? Really think about what you do want, because where attention goes, energy flows. This is a Tony Robbins saying, but I use it a lot. And that is negatively and positively. So if we are constantly focusing on the things that we do not want, we are going to increase that in coming towards us. So if you're looking for a relationship, like I've got a few clients in that kind of bracket at the minute, and they are constantly thinking about what they don't have, or what was bad in a previous relationship, or that, if you're focusing on that, it's going to grow. So my number 1 tip is to really think about, first of all, what you do want, because some people don't know what they want. Think about what you want, and then focus on what you want.
Yeah, I get it. Very clear. And I 100% agree.
And, sometimes the most basic elements can have the most profound effect. So these mindset hacks, they are simple, right? They might not be easy for some people, but they're simple. Everybody can do it.
And they're free.
And they're what? They're free.
To upgrade your mindset, isn't it? Yeah.
The best things in life are free, as I said on my stories yesterday. So number 2, this is key, because I know one of the questions that you'd said, like, how do I deal with stress and stuff like that? Number 2, this is my religion. Okay. Meditation.
Yes.
Every single day when I wake up. So my routine, well, I'm not going to talk because I'm going to keep it to the meditation, but basically, meditation is one way to easy change your mindset. And the best time I feel to meditate is when you wake up, because the way we start our day paves the way for the rest of the day. So it can really start to clear your mind of negative thought patterns and really start to ground and center you ready for the rest of the day. So I only meditate for 15 or 20 minutes. And most people say, well, what do you get from meditation? And I'm going to tell you a little story very quickly of my why. So I've meditated every single day for the past couple of years. I've been into meditation for over 10 years, but every single day. There was one day last year when I was extremely busy and I was leaving work for 7 a.m. I had to get Angel out the door. Phil was working away and I didn't meditate. I was like, I haven't got time. what happened? I locked myself out of the house. I had no spare key. Nobody had a key. Phil was away and I had to get a locksmith. So my wife, it doesn't matter what time I've got to leave the house, that meditation is done.
I love that. And so really every single day?
Every single day.
No matter if it's for maybe 5 minutes to 20 minutes?
Yeah. It's rarely 5 minutes.
Okay.
I read something recently, I'll try and find it for you, and apparently 12 minutes is the minimum that has an impact when we're meditating. And I still like guided meditations. I can sit in silence, but I do like guided as well. And the minimum I'll usually do is 15 minutes.
Okay, cool.
So that's number 2 life hack.
Yeah.
Meditate.
Yep. Good.
Number 3 is reframing.
Okay.
So reframing can come in a sense of the language, an event or a thought. And reframing is just basically us taking something from a negative connotation to a positive one. So I'm going to focus today on language because this is a really simple one for people to get hold on. So for example, I'm overwhelmed becomes I need to sit down and prioritize things. Okay? Because the words we use become our experience. So if we're constantly running around going, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm anxious, that's what you're going to be. Yep. Okay. So I can't sleep becomes I'm researching, I'm learning ways of how to have a better night's sleep. And that used to be me. I used to sleep terribly. I had insomnia. It was awful. I can't relax. This is something else that I come across. I am learning how to relax. I had a client message me yesterday. She's been working with me for about 3 months. And she said, my mind is shot. Okay?
Yeah.
So I said to her, because when I'm working with clients, I will invite them to reframe it rather than me giving them the reframe.
Of course.
Because it's much more powerful.
Well, it's coaching as well, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. I'm not telling anyone what to do in coaching. I'm just facilitating. I'm just questioning. So she came back and said, I am ready to explore this opportunity and see where it goes. And I was like, how much different does that feel?
Yeah.
So it's super simple, but you would be surprised when people become conscious of the words that they're using. They're constantly self-sabotaging, constantly. So that's number 3, reframe.
And also, like you say, it's also very good to get them to verbalize it because once they hear it, then they're like, oh, wait a minute. Because internally, it doesn't really make sense. Verbalizing it is like, wow, that is like, oof, I shouldn't be saying that. Yeah. Okay, cool. I like it. Reframing specifically language at this point. Specifically language.
A really, really simple way to think about it for people is, would you say that out loud to your best friend?
Yes.
And if you wouldn't, do not say it about yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
There we go.
It's super, super simple. Number four mindset hack is visualization.
Oh, yes.
So this becomes part of my meditation. So it doesn't have to be something additional. It might be, somebody might be sitting there thinking, Jesus Christ, how long do I need to do all of these things? Most of these things can be incorporated in your morning routine of 20 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever it becomes. So visualization and visualizing what you want. Now, what really helps the visualization process is for us to have a PIP. Okay. So a PIP is a proof that it's possible.
Okay.
Well, for example, I had a dream to live in Ibiza. Okay. I just knew deep down I believed it. I didn't know how. And then I ended up having a friend who lived here. So that was my proof it was possible because he was living here. So it's kind of it doesn't need to be about moving country. It can be about a certain job. It could be about having a baby. It could be about having a loving relationship. But find a PIP, find a proof it's possible and do a vision board. Get it on your vision board. That visualization process only needs to be 2 or 3 minutes per day, but it needs to be consistent.
Okay, cool.
You need to do it regularly.
I've never heard the acronym PIP, but I think I like it. And then also we had a guest called Sarah Law who uses visualization quite a lot. So it's definitely in the back of my mind as well. It's not something I currently use, but I like that proof that it's possible. Very clear.
Possible. And a lot of athletes use it. I mean, visualization is huge. A lot of the athletes use it. I've used it to create this place that I'm living in now. You know, it works.
cool. I like it.
Number 5 is, this is again one of my favorite topics, probably one of the ones that your listeners will be most resistant to. Oh, it's the one that I find a lot of my clients are resistant to, which is journaling.
Journaling, cool.
Journaling.
Yep.
So I have been journaling regularly since 2011. Wow. This is a simple way to empower and inspire our mindset, okay? Because it really helps you to explore your thoughts, your emotions, and really bizarrely, I dug out my journal from back in 2011 last night. I've kept every single journal. And this was something I wrote in March 2012. So children, I am thankful for us both having healthy reproductive organs. At this point, I was trying for a baby and had been trying for 2 years.
Okay.
So I'm thankful for the child who is on his way. No, I didn't put his, on their way to us. The child will be happy, healthy, and have blonde hair and blue eyes and will weigh between 7 and 8 pounds. So that is proof that journaling works. Angel was a bit heavier than 8 pounds, but he's got blonde eyes, he's got blue eyes, he's happy and healthy.
Oh, amazing.
But it's a brilliant reflection tool of us seeing like how far we've come. It's like self-therapy. I cannot recommend it enough. Okay, so cool. Journaling, number 5.
Cool.
Number 6, serving others.
Yes.
So this is kind of very, I know we're on the same page with so much stuff, babe. Even though we don't know each other that well, I just know that we are. So this links in a lot with our purpose. So if we are, say we're having a bit of a down moment, right? Because we all have it. Nobody is 100% happy and positive all of the time, including me. Nobody is. However, when we can start to look at what we can do for others and how we can serve others, this really starts to ignite this passion and this happiness within inside us. And I can tell by your nodding that you're
well, this is one of the reasons why Café Diem was born as well, because I wanted to hear what other professionals were so passionate and purposeful about. So definitely.
Yeah. And that is my purpose now, is serving others, and it is funny, like if I am having one of those days where I'm not feeling as energetic or as motivated and I get on with a client, like usually on Zoom these days, and I come off and I am buzzing because I'm focused on that person and supporting them and how they can move forward. And there is nothing more rewarding than helping others, whether that's, Sheila's such an inspiration who, if you haven't listened to the Café Diem with Sheila, I would recommend that you do. And when she said about, the volunteering and everything, so serving others comes in so many different aspects. And if serving others isn't part of your job, per se, then I used to volunteer at a little school in Liverpool where the children were very disadvantaged, where the mums and dads were drug addicts or alcoholics. And then I volunteered at a little disabled horse place when I was pregnant. So there's things that you can do, especially if you're on the island, like Sheila said about the food banks. So
I think about that often as well. And I met a woman, Gypsy Westwood, who was also doing the same thing. So I do think about that often, how we have to do it. And it's interesting though, because I've always like my mom is she retired, I don't even know how many years ago, but she has been volunteering. And it's something that, again, ingrained in my DNA and something that I've known since childhood. But it's only, I guess, that was Healthy Maze. So Maze Al-Ali, who brought to my attention, again, this more like kind of the service side of it, whereas maybe it's like the volunteering. But now more than ever, I even woke up yesterday from a dream, this like service side. So it's really, really good for you to really plant that seed again, or I'm watching that seed grow. So it's so important, isn't it? And I can tell clearly that is one of your purposes, and it's so exciting. And Sheila's as well. It was so nice to hear her talk about it as well. But we definitely have a lot to give.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of people,
and that can really just upgrade our mindset. And then the last one, number 7. Super simple, but so important. Again, this is a daily practice for me, gratitude.
Yes.
So really, really, and the thing is about gratitude, it's not just about us sitting there every day and going, I'm grateful for my health, I'm grateful for nature. You've really got to feel that emotion, you've got to genuinely feel it inside. And this is like a switch to again, upgrade our mindset, because if we're just always focusing on what we want, but we're not already grateful for what we have, then there's this kind of conflict. And so this brings us full circle to the first one on focus. It's really important that we focus on what we want. However, we are still thankful and grateful for the things that we have, especially in this current climate. The fact that we have got access to this system, we have got the ability to have coffee. We can have coffee. We've got a shelter over our house. We've got food in our fridge. Some people haven't got that. So we are very, very privileged. And we have to remember that. We really have to remember that in order to move ourselves and drive ourselves forward.
Fantastic, Lisa. I 1,000,000,000% agree with all of your 7 principles. And I'm gonna just touch. So we've got number 1, which is focus. So focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Meditation, which again, that can look different for everybody. So if you're just starting out, you could spend 5 minutes a day on it and then eventually, move up to your 20 minutes. So just taking some time to really sit with yourself, focus on your breath for sure. We've got reframing your language, which again, very juicy and makes so much sense. Visualization. Yes. PIP. So proof it's possible. I like that acronym a lot. And I will use that myself. We've got number 5, which is journaling. So everybody probably has about 10 journals in their house that have not been used. Grab one of those and get right to it. You don't even need to go buy a new one is what I'm saying. Number 6, serving others. So important. Whatever that looks like for you. And then number 7 is gratitude. And I think that is a great, I love it. A great list. And being in Ibiza, I would say most people that are in our inner circle, I imagine, we feel gratitude for, I look out here, waking up to that sea every day, the sunshine. So whatever it takes for you to get that feeling, whether it's coming to one of Lisa's retreats in 2021 or
my Kickstart program that is on the 7th of October. For those that are feeling a little bit down, a little bit demotivated, need a bit of experience, they're a bit inspiring, they're a bit lost, they're a bit stuck. So it's just going to be a very small group because I like to keep that intimacy, and it is online, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world.
Fantastic. And I like that. So what I would like everybody to do now is to go follow Lisa Strong. You can find her on Facebook, which I don't believe you use as much as Instagram, if I'm right.
No, I want to mention this actually. I know that we're getting short on time, but it's important with regards to mindset. So what I talked about there was upgrading our mindset. I looked at the things for us to do.
Yes.
There are some things that I feel we shouldn't do to enhance our mindset. And one thing that's really helped me is coming off Facebook. So when I say coming off, I haven't dismantled my account, but I haven't gone on newsfeed or anything. And so my business page for Facebook is Strong with a number 4 Life. So we do put motivation things in there, some yoga practices, etc. However, my main platform now is Lisa Strong, which is Instagram, and it's Lisa with an underscore. And the reason for that is Facebook became the news, and I haven't listened to the news since 2007, and I realized it was draining me. So I took a conscious decision to I'm not going on it, and I am so much more vibrant, energetic and focused without it.
Cool. Yeah, no, very clear. I understand for sure. The links to your Facebook and your Instagram, and then of course from the Instagram, you'll get the link tree as well. So you'll have the details about signing up for your course there. But Strong for Life is what we're looking for. So if people are looking to get a hold of you, and then of course on Instagram is Lisa_Strong, I believe.
I couldn't just have Lisa Strong. There is already one. So
well, there's only one in my books. It's you, babe. Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. But like I say, the links will be in the description box below. And before we wrap up, I have a few things to just wrap up with. So next week is a new guest for a new month. And as most people know, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So next month, we're going to be really focusing on breast health, which I think as for everybody, whether you're a man or a woman, it affects us all. is really important right now. So we are going to start the month on Wednesday, the 7th of October, with a woman who's been on before, Emma Sabine. And she is known on the island as being me. So she's a breast cancer survivor. And one of the big catalysts for her beating cancer was very much this whole mindset thing that we talked about, but also coming to Ibiza. So we're going to have 4, so Emma, and then 3 special guests that we'll be talking about that are all related to basically how we can prevent breast cancer. And it's really important. And I know everybody, it's not a topic that, it's again, another shiver. And we'll have some special guests as well that are going to be talking from the island who have also beaten breast cancer or who battling breast cancer at the moment. So next month is going to be quite powerful as well as September as well. So next month. And then of course, if you want to come and say hola over on the Café Diem platforms, we would love for you to let us know if there's any guests that you want to see in November. So I'm sure everybody has a guest that they think could be great for November, including Lisa. We might ask Lisa as well, who she thinks could be a really good guest. I can think of a fitness friend that we have in common that would be a very, very good guest as well. So going from Lisa Strong to one of the strongest women on the island, probably. It's Café Diem Ibiza. So come over and say hello there. And then, of course, for me, just a quick one here before we wrap up is like Lisa, I look at all elements of health. So it's not just a fitness and nutrition thing, but sleep now more than ever. And it was very clear during lockdown that we had some people that weren't sleeping at all, and then some people that were oversleeping. If you want to honor your health and your fitness, you can find me on Unconditional Love Ibiza. So if you're looking for a complimentary health evaluation to see where you're doing, see where you are, you can come over and find me there. And with that, Lisa, we are going to wrap up number 21 from Café Diem.
Great, I love
21 weeks on the trot.
Well done. This is an amazing project that you're doing, darling. So, and again, for keeping that consistency going, it's great. It's
yeah, I know you appreciate that. That's for sure. So yeah, I really appreciate it. So brewed in Ibiza for a love of black coffee. I don't know. I didn't actually ask if yours was black or not, Lisa. What's milky? Or I mean, not milky probably, right?
Oh,
black coffee, early mornings, and well-being. This is Café Diem Ibiza signing out for guest Lisa Strong, number 21, going strong. Such an honor to have you on, and the chills and the palm sweats that I've experienced during our conversation are paramount, and you're leaving me on a really good vibration, Lisa, so I'm really happy. Pleasure to have you as a guest.
Thank you, darling. Have a lovely day.
You too, and we will see everybody next week for Emma Sabine.
Okay.
Adios, everybody.